Right now, I'm setting PRs on these Olympic weightlifting lifts. Seems like every week. Today I hit an 80 kilo power snatch, I think you want to call it, or muscle snatch or something to that extent. Regardless of what it is, it's a snatch position for a PR weight. So it's going really, really well. It takes me back to the days when I first started training. You know, every single time you touch the bar, every time you squat, deadlift, bench press, seems like every other session you would set a PR. My early days was with strong lifts, Texas method. I've got fond memories of that. I have to go back to the first book of notes to see the rapid gains I had back then. I'm kind of finding it similar with these ollie lifts. Clearly my technique is way off. I don't have any proficiency. I feel clunky, I feel awkward. For starters, the grip is torturing me for the most part. As soon as I get into a new weight, I feel like the skin, the hands are the first ones to let go, and then my wrists start to, I don't know what you'd call it, a denature or give way. And then when that kind of happens, everything else falls apart. So I feel like if I could somehow weld my hands to the damn bar, at least that part of it would be really good. So every weight is almost like a new skill. Trying to generate power in a controlled manner is something that I've never done before in any other movement, any other sport. So with these lifts, correct me if I'm wrong, some of you guys have been doing this for a long time, but you need to bleed the power in. So you can't just drop the damn clutch from 10 grand. You have to cross the knees as fast as possible without compromising the second pull. Now, that's difficult. That is really difficult because when you jump, you don't go, okay, I'm gonna squat down, or I'm gonna go to a quarter squat, and then I'm gonna slowly, and then drop the clutch. No, man, like everything you do in sports, field sports, basketball, soccer, whatever the hell you're doing, everything is go as fast as you can, go as hard as you can. But with these lifts, if you try to explode off the floor, you're gonna basically completely shit the second pull, and the bar's not gonna go anywhere. So it's bizarre. And I think, I mean, from an outside angle, I think that is what separates the greats. You know, I've seen Lou deadlift like huge amounts of weight, but when he's pulling the clean, the power clean or the snatch, he seems like he's, slowly coming off the floor. And I'm like, the hell, man, you can deadlift way more. And then he just goes after it. And then the bar kind of levitates and is hovering above the air, in the air. That is a skill. I don't have so much power that I can pick and choose where I want to turn it on. It's almost like, I've got a great analogy here. It's like the turbo, right? If you want the turbo spool to hit when you want it, you basically have to spool the thing ahead of time. You have to, spin the thing ahead of time and then drop it when you need it. It's kind of like that. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but with ollie lifting, it seems like you're a supercharger where the power's always just sitting around and waiting. It's like, it doesn't use exhaust from the engine to spin the turbine. It's always kind of plumbed in, let's say. It's geared into the damn belt. So it's kind of like that. And I struggle with that. Like, when I pick the 80 kilos up, when I'm kind of setting the weight up, I'm like, man, this is so damn light. I feel like I can throw it to the ceiling. Does not work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I'm not even squatting underneath the bar. I'm not even like dipping underneath the bar. I'm just trying to put this thing above my head without even using the low body. And the reason for that is, number one, it is way too complex for me to worry about dipping under the bar for now. I just want to be able to kind of like do the hip extension or the triple extension first, and then I'll worry about the flexion. I don't know why. Like, I feel like people get into trouble with the flexion bit, not the extension bit. That's at least for me. Maybe because I'm more hingy of an athlete than a squatty athlete. If you're a squatty guy with short legs and long torso, I guess maybe the extension part is difficult for you. The squatting is just natural. For me, it's the other way around. I can pull all day freaking long. That the extension bit is fine. It's just the flexion, which is the squatty bit, I struggle with that. And when I front squat, when I squat, I really have to, get things right, get my positions right for it to work. I can't just catch the bar in midair and like go straight into a squat comfortably. So lots of different things are happening, but despite all of that, I'm setting these PRs. I'm setting these PRs. I 80 today, felt good. It makes me wonder like what I could do if I could actually do the triple flexion. If I could get underneath the bar, man. Right now, like the bar is so freaking high, man. It's like above my head. So I'm putting lots of power into it, so I can kind of avoid getting underneath it. So I don't know what the potential would be, but surely I will be able to snatch, 100 kilos or something like that if I could get underneath it. I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that, but anyway, I was smiling throughout the whole session. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know whether it's because it's the PRs or whether it's, I don't think it's the PRs. I think it's because it's sports-like, and powerlifting is, I don't mean disrespect in any way, but it feels as though it's training for a sport, if that makes sense. It's a training session. It's like a strength and conditioning session for a sport. That's what powerlifting strikes me as right now. Whereas Ollie lifting is like, this is the sport. It's weird. I mean, I don't know what the origin of powerlifting is, but it strikes me as, all of these lifts and movements were once upon a time for, do these lifts to get better at your sport. And then people got really, really good at these lifts, and they made a sport out of the accessory to a sport. But anyway, I think it's all well and good to do all of it. My mind kind of races with these things. Sometimes I think to myself, I'm sure there is a movement somewhere. There is something I need to do that's going to translate to exactly what I need. So that Hinge athlete struggles with the flexion in the Ollie lifts. There are things you can do out there to make you a little bit more comfortable with the squatting motions if you're a Hinge guy. This is probably why, the deadlift is so far ahead of the squat. Not only do I feel like when I'm deadlifting, I'm putting everything into the bar and there's no limitations of technique, there's no limitations of anything. I'm just, when I hit that 265 some damn near 2 years ago now, I felt like I gave it all. I worked up to it for months on end, really, really focusing on everything to do with the deadlift. And when I said that 265, I felt like maybe I had a few more kilos in me, but that was it. When I squat, it's a technical freaking nightmare. Even when I hit that 210, 212, it was a positioning thing. It wasn't a strength thing. As funny as that sounds, and some of you guys might not even agree with me, but I feel like I'm always out of position. I'm always out of where I need to be. And because of all of these things is the reason why I fell in love with this squat, because I'm like, okay, if this is going to be this freaking hard for me to get my head around it, how about I do it every single day until I get it right? And, little guys are going to be like, oh, Ivan, your squat looks good. How can you not be good at doing something every single day? It's a struggle. It's always been a struggle for me. It's always been difficult for me, and so it's taken a lot of work for me to get there. For whatever reason, whatever the geometry, the anthropometry, or whatever the leverages are, I am not a natural in squats. Some of you guys might be surprised about that, but I'm at home with Hinge stuff, RDLs, deadlifts, the clean, the power cleans, that's natural to me, except the dipping. I don't want to dip. I just want to rip things off the floor and throw it. I'm good at that. It feels comfortable. Short torso, long legs, whatever, all that stuff plays into it. But that's kind of where my comfort level is. And even when I do accessory lifts for the squatty things, I feel unnatural. It's weird. Even when I do the hack squat, things feel off. My knees feel weird, like they want to fucking shear off the damn ligaments. The hip feels weird. Everything feels weird. If you stop me from hinging in a compound movement, I'm feeling weird. It's strange. It's really strange, but that's what it is. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. Let me get out of here and go to work, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.